this has been certainly a hot topic for us for the last 3 or 4 years now, for sure. And there's all kinds of science out there that contradicts other science, and there's a never-ending realm of possibility of where it could, what the end result is of all of this. But for council, I think the thing about it is that the MLAs and the province and the feds have to take ownership of this. They're the ones that get to say yay or nay and do it or don't do it. And it's not up to the feeling of some of the councils is not our bailiwick. It's not something that we have control over, and so we're hopefully. I know the Premier has been talking about this lately. I'm hoping that it gets on his radar, and I would really like it if the people that actually own it, the province and the feds, would just take ownership of this and do something with it, and say, okay, we're not going to change it, or yes, we are, and be done with it.
Well, they have done something with it, of course. That's part of the problem. They've done something with it by saying it's okay to use the particular spray, glyphosate, and that it's okay to spray it from an airplane. That's the federal government deciding that. The provincial government decides on the how and the when. For example, you don't do it on a windy day, and you can't do it near a watercourse, a stream, or river, etc. So they have done something, but there are people like Councillor Hotelling and others who think that they're wrong. They've made a mistake. I can't help but think back to the 1960s, and as I've said to you many times, I'm old, and I remember a product that was sprayed regularly on farmers' fields everywhere. You might remember it too. It was called DDT. And
yes,
they subsequently found out that was killing us, and of course put a stop to it. But it was considered legal and proper and appropriate and all that for many years before we came to our senses. So when it comes to chemicals that we put on our food products or we put on our lands to help us grow other products that we want better than what might grow naturally, we affect the environment. And anytime we do that, I think we've got to be extra careful. So I'm not trying to duck the thing, but I'm not picking a side either. I'm simply saying this is too important to just let somebody else do it.
Yep. And I think, there's some conversation to be had with the people that get to make these decisions, and certainly that will be, I suspect that the next time I'm talking to the minister responsible for that they're going to ask me, what's going on. There was quite a conversation, and what's the feeling and all of that. And you know what? I'll report in that, it is a contentious issue for us, and it will continue to be until somebody decides what they're going to, if they're going to stop it or not. And again, the science also tells us that there's a huge difference between aerial spraying versus ground spraying. And I'm not sure what the science of that is, other than the aerial spraying I get would drift potentially further and all of that. But at the end of the day, the same stuff is going on the ground in other places by virtue of ground spraying versus aerial spraying. And I'm not sure, what the difference is in that regard.